What's up guys, it's the Chiefster here back with another video. So a few weeks ago you guys might have seen I made a video about looking into crypto, and I had a base knowledge of Bitcoin since about 2013, back when I actually used to mine it on my home computer, and I thought I knew pretty much exactly what crypto was and that there was nothing else I really needed to learn about. And as it turns out, I was not only fully wrong on what I thought I understood about Bitcoin, but the entire crypto market itself. Very wrong. And then that led to me spiraling down the rabbit hole of the crypto world. And what I've learned and continue to learn, because trust me, there is a lot to learn here, is that most people, including myself, have no idea about what the crypto world actually is and how all this is going to truly affect the financial world that we know today. From the outside, you may see things like Dogecoin or Dogelon Mars or all these other crazy looking coins, and you might just think to yourself, this all just looks like insanity and it's really not going to be worth anything. And to some degree, you're kind of right, because the crypto world has a lot of crap. It is the downside to being a very unregulated system that things like pump and dumps exist on the crypto markets, and there's also just crap coins that are going to go down to zero one day. But the upside to it being regulated is that the crypto world has been able to kind of freely grow, and real crypto entrepreneurs have begun to make different coins and tokens that solve the problems of the crypto space. And not only are these solving problems on the crypto space, but some of these actually solve real world problems that we deal with today. And whenever something solves real world problems, you get real world utility, which brings with it real world value. Now I know this whole real world talk might be starting to sound like the Matrix, but since life is a simulation anyway, no, I'm just kidding. We aren't going down that rabbit hole. Wait, did I already say that? Deja vu. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to try to explain to you guys some of the things I've learned that I was actually wrong on in the crypto world, how all of this is going to probably affect the future of finance and investing, and why I have begun to believe so strongly in the crypto markets that I've actually changed a lot of my investing strategy. But just a disclaimer, guys, first, as I always say, remember this is not financial advice, and I always recommend that you guys look into this stuff on your own or talk to a financial advisor if they'll talk to you about crypto. Also, make sure to check down below in the description for referral links for a bunch of stuff to sign up for things in the crypto space. I've got things like COINBASE and Celsius, BlockFi, ways that you can earn free crypto, ways that you can invest your crypto and actually earn interest. I also have a ton of other referrals down there that can help you guys save money on things like groceries and gas so that you can actually buy more Bitcoin. But check those out. Those always help out the channel, and I really appreciate when you guys use those sign up links. But anyway, back to the video. So the first thing I want to talk about, and I talked about a little bit in my last video, is that the crypto markets are way more than Bitcoin. Like, I thought it was really just about Bitcoin and everything else was kind of trying to like be like Bitcoin but be just slightly different, which kind of is how things started out, but that's not at all how the crypto markets are today. So as you probably know, Bitcoin works like a digital value that has a limited supply, so it's like a digital gold, and it is actually very important to the crypto market right now, at least, because it kind of gives all the other coins a measurement, so you can kind of measure it up to what is Bitcoin doing. I kind of see this as like measuring an individual stock against the index of the stock market or against gold as a market cap or something like that. And Bitcoin still probably is a good investment, but the other coins are really what I'm way more interested in right now, because those probably have a lot more potential, even though Bitcoin still has probably a lot of potential. And you're gonna catch me saying probably a lot because I mean, I'm talking about crypto. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. But the next big boy on the block besides Bitcoin is Ethereum. And Ethereum opened the door for so much stuff in the crypto world because Ethereum brought what is called smart contracts. Now this is where things can get kind of complicated, but let me just read the Wikipedia definition of a smart contract. A smart contract is a computer program or a transaction protocol which is intended to automatically execute, control, or document legally relevant events and actions according to the terms of a contract or an agreement. Got it, right? That is so simple. Okay, no, really though, this is complicated, but really what it means is a smart contract can be used as a trigger for something that happens that will then cause something else to happen, or take control of something, or something stores data when it happens. It's kind of something that triggers an event that you want to happen. It's all about a mathematical protocol that's just trying to follow the rules. If you've ever worked with like Excel spreadsheet, it's kind of like giant if-then statements. And this is all set up like this because Ethereum was specifically built to be like a blank canvas with many uses. So it opened up the doors for much more in the crypto space and led to a boom of utility-driven other coins known as altcoins or alternate coins that are different than Bitcoin, which brings me then to altcoins and their utility in the markets, because altcoins have been able to bring a lot of answers to problems in the crypto space and real world problems. For instance, altcoins can help to fix things in the crypto world, like maybe solve transaction times, and there's constantly a lot of stuff going on there, just making it more and more complex and more intricate, but working much better. But where I'm very interested in altcoins, because this is what will draw people's attention, is their real world problems that they can solve, because altcoins have shown promise for creating faster and more secure functionality of very big business industries. And these are major industries like banking, investing, gaming, the internet, and a bunch of other stuff. But there is a risky side here, obviously. I kind of compare this all to the beginning of tech stocks once the internet was invented. Companies like Facebook and Google were created to solve issues in that internet space, and look at where they are now. But of course, there were other companies that just really went nowhere that popped up, especially during the dot-com boom. Not to mention other companies that got overrun by other companies, kind of like MySpace did with Facebook. Although MySpace is still around, I hear that apparently. Do you actually use that? So just like how all that was, you do need to be careful with where you're going to put your money in these cryptos, because they are risky. Because the saying remains true that if you want more reward, you're usually going to have to take on more risk. Not to mention the market is running really hot right now and everything looks good. So it looks like you can just throw your money into anything and you'll be fine. But the downturn is coming, and those cryptos that do not truly have value are really going to show that they don't have value when they sink down to nothing as soon as the market turns around. But those altcoins that really do have value, that are going to become something, may really become something in the future. So to me, the reward there is way worth the risk that I might take. Even if I lose all my money doing some investing into that, the reward that you could get from doing it is pretty worth it. At least that's what I think. Like I said, not financial advice. Look into this stuff on your own. But that's pretty much the crypto markets. But now I want to talk about what is Web 3.0, because Web 3.0 really plays into a ton of what the crypto space is. And of course, I always say this, I'm trying to do my best to understand this, but I'm still at a beginning stage of all this. So I'm trying to explain to you guys as best as I can, but hopefully I say everything right, and obviously look into stuff yourself. But the reason I'm kind of comparing the altcoins and all this stuff to the internet back in the day is because a lot of this stuff really is a lot like the internet. This is really like a new version of the internet. If you've ever heard of Web 3.0, you might be wondering, wait, when did we ever get to Web 2.0? Well, in simple terms, just to try to explain this really briefly, Web 1.0 was the first internet that was created when it was computers accessing other computers, and all the stored info was accessed through that. Web 2.0 came about when you had a company like Facebook that acts as a centralized point of the data. So as far as I can understand this, and trust me, this is kind of pretty far over my head, when you send a Facebook message to someone, you're actually sending it over Web 2.0 because you're sending it through Facebook themselves to process that message in their own system. You're not actually sending it from your server to their server. You're kind of just sending it within the Facebook server. But the problem you could have with Web 2.0 is that the centralized company controls that data. And sure, these companies have privacy policies and regulations and all that kind of stuff too. So it's not like they can really just do whatever they want with it. But can they though? So if I sent you a message saying, make sure to tap the like button and subscribe to this channel, that centralized company has the power to change my message and make it say, make sure to tap the dislike button and unsubscribe from this channel. Wait, no, please don't do that. So the creation of Web 3.0 runs that data through a decentralized blockchain instead of a centralized company controlling it. So in theory, the data stays private and can't be tampered with in that way. Not to mention there are many other benefits that come with that, but also other challenges. And a big thing I want to say here is that everyone thought the internet would be a fad. It just really wouldn't be worth anything, and it was just kind of, you know, for kicks and giggles. I'm pretty sure the first thing that was ever sent through the internet was like a dancing baby. Kind of like how the first thing that was ever purchased with Bitcoin was pizzas. But the thing is, you know, when the nerds that created all this stuff get to have fun with it, they're gonna have fun with it, which kind of made it seem like, oh, it's just not really worth anything. But I think that pizza today is what, like a couple billion. But the creation of crypto is not exactly like the creation of the internet, because it's actually built on it and actually changes the internet itself. At least it could change it, kind of already is. But just like so many people didn't believe in Web 1.0 and didn't see the use for it, and so many people didn't believe in Web 2.0 like Facebook or Amazon, so many people today say the same exact thing about Web 3.0 and how the crypto world in general is just not really worth anything. But one thing that a lot of people don't realize is nothing's really worth anything unless people put the value into it to say it's worth something. Everything's just based on your perception of what has worth and what doesn't, and nothing's really for sure. I mean, even the stock market isn't a for sure thing, and the truth is the money flows where the value is found. So if tomorrow there's a new system of a stock market that makes way better returns than the stock market might fall apart. It's really just about where we place our value. So if there truly can be a lot of value found in Web 3.0, then it's only a matter of time before people start piling their money into it. And in a world of security concerns and self-interested manipulation, Web 3.0 provides some answers to some of those problems that we have that very well might be the next thing that makes the crypto market what it actually is. Now, I would be naive to say it's not going to be a tough battle going for Web 3.0 because the power is in the hands of the people that it's in the hands of right now, and people aren't usually too willing to give up the power they have. Regardless of if it's a better system or not, disrupting the current system is obviously going to lead to a bunch of trouble because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be against it. So even though you might understand this and see that it is a better system, there is still risk that comes with that, but also huge reward if we see things work out like they have in the past with the creation of the internet and the companies who were created on the internet who made Web 2.0 a thing. So the whole Web 3.0 argument is something that I'm paying very close attention to because it's something that I really see being a big part of the crypto space that can really make it have a lot of real world value. And last in the crypto world, the last thing I want to talk about real quickly because I don't really understand it that much is NFTs. Like I said, I don't fully understand NFTs and I'm not sure if anyone really does. And I won't say too much here, but I will say it's probably worth paying attention to NFTs. If you don't know what NFTs are, they're basically the property of the crypto world, or what's known as the metaverse. And owning this digital property could actually have real world value for you. An example that's a lot easier to understand than a lot of other NFTs, for instance, would be something like buying land in Decentraland, which is a crypto world. The land in that crypto world is actually sold as an NFT to you, and you own the land to do with what you want. And one day that may actually be able to bring real world value if you could build digital businesses on that land to bring in money, which honestly isn't that crazy because it's kind of similar to this YouTube channel where this channel is digitally brought to you guys, and I can sell digital ads. I mean, I don't sell them myself, but Google sells them to you and pays me, and then that brings me real world money. So it's all digital transaction. We're kind of already living in the metaverse. So this all really goes back to that whole kind of Web 3.0 idea. But outside of that with NFTs, I've been searching for utilities in NFTs and I've had trouble finding much more than the value just built on ideals and just expectations. I do see NFTs that have a lot of value, but I also see a lot of NFTs that the price point I just can't fully understand. And I think it's mostly just built on the idea that they're simply going to be worth more in the future. So I think that's kind of inflating the price, and that's a little bit of a concern to me. So we will see with NFTs. I don't fully understand all that, but I'm excited to see what type of real world applications they have down the road. All right, so I've talked to you guys about the types of cryptos that are out there, Web 3.0 and what that's kind of going to bring, and then NFTs. And now what I want to talk to you guys about is why I believe the crypto space, the entire metaverse, will be so big in the future. And I do kind of want to put a disclaimer here that you've probably heard the word metaverse when it comes to what Facebook's doing right now. And sure, to some extent that kind of is like the metaverse, but what I'm talking about is actually more like the Web 3.0 metaverse. What Facebook is doing, as far as I can understand, is more of like the Web 2.0 metaverse, where I'm pretty sure they're going to be the central controlling factor of all that stuff. So it's not completely truly the metaverse, and that's why I think a lot of people have hesitations toward it, because there already is the metaverse in the crypto world that people are trying to build. But again, that's just what I can kind of draw from it. I could be wrong on that. But the best way that I can think to explain what the crypto world is by understanding the metaverse in terms of the real world that we live in. So explaining in ways that you would understand based on the physical world that we already live in. Now, this isn't completely how this works, and there are some exceptions to what I'm going to say, but a simple explanation of the metaverse would kind of go like this. So the crypto world, or the metaverse, is like our universe and everything in it. The blockchains, or the Web 3.0 protocols, are kind of like the worlds that exist in the metaverse. The crypto coins of each of the blockchains are kind of like the money that exists in that world. That's not always the case, but kind of, and it's kind of like the voting rights in some situations. So that kind of creates like the government of it. And the tokens that are built on those blockchains are kind of like the stocks of the businesses in those worlds, kinda. And finally, the NFTs are like the real property that exists in the metaverse. So you might want to actually go back and play that back and listen to it again, because it is a little complicated if you've never really heard this stuff. But when you fully start to grasp it, what you realize is this really is kind of like its own world digitally, but different than like what we're used to with its own world in the internet digitally. This is actually like truly like its own world digitally. And that's not even getting into like VR, augmented reality, all that kind of stuff. That's just a whole nother thing. And next, the most important thing in this video is why I was wrong on crypto and why I think that crypto is going to be such a big thing down the road. Number one is because it can solve real world problems. Like I said, crypto can overhaul many industries and make them function more efficient and quicker than they have before. Number two, it has finally started to receive more of an okay from the US government. This was my biggest concern for crypto for a long time, and lately it seems like the government in the US is beginning to really loosen up kind of on how they are going to be with crypto, pretty much as long as they can tax it. Number three, Ethereum and other cryptos like Ethereum, as well as other cryptos that are in the Web 3.0 protocol, have really created a blank canvas for today's entrepreneurs that have been looking for something that they can do. Building a business is more competitive than ever these days due to massive corporations having their hands in pretty much every industry. And things like Ethereum and Web 3.0 really open the doors for entrepreneurs to give them a new place to start to build businesses from the ground up, especially as a place where there's less regulation, and it's going to take a long time for the big companies to get over to start doing anything with it. This is a very common thing you see for entrepreneurs in a growing economy. We saw this with the creation of the internet and entrepreneurs starting up businesses on the internet. Number four, I think this can be an answer to what most people are tired of with the government over-regulation and massive corporation oversight. No matter what political side you stand on, you probably feel an issue with one or both of those things I just said, and probably most people do too. So I think the crypto world is one of those things that people are really just itching to push into to get rid of some of that stuff. And number five, my last reason for why I think crypto will be big is because so many people disregard it as simply a stupid fad. And on this point, I'll close out the video because I think so many people today are ready to just disregard crypto because it's too complicated for them and it threatens to disrupt the system that we already have today. And not only do I see people claiming to understand it while not looking into it, just like I did, but I see those same people actively warning people to ignore it. And this is so reminiscent of a lot of the inventions that have come before in the past that have really changed the way that the world has worked. And that's stuff like people didn't believe that electricity had value when it was discovered. People didn't believe that computers had value when they were created. People didn't believe that the internet had value when it was created. And lastly, the thing I think we'll say in the future is people didn't believe crypto had value when it was created. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully it was put together enough. I know this stuff is very complicated. It's hard to talk about all these things into one video. But the more I've been learning about this stuff, the more I just feel like I'm gonna explode if I don't get it out. And I want to share it with other people because I want to make people aware that this is a big thing and you should start looking into it now. I really think this is going to make up a lot of the investing future for the young generation, like the millennials and the Gen Z, and maybe even the Gen X. I don't really know where you guys lie actually. But regardless of what you want to do, I definitely recommend at least looking into it and trying to understand more about it, which if you're watching this video, you kind of just did, so congratulations. But remember guys, there are links in the description if you guys want to sign up for anything like COINBASE, where they offer free crypto through their Learn and Earn program, or things like Celsius where you can earn interest on your stablecoin, which is so awesome. But those are all in the description, so check those out. Those help the channel. I really appreciate it. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked the video, remember to do the cheapest thing you can today. Tap that like button and also subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more stuff like this. Crypto, personal finance, entrepreneurship. And I will see you guys in the next video. And remember, stay cheap.
Be saving that money. Don't you be spending it now. You're still here watching this? You might as well just subscribe. Why would you not at this point?